This week's parasha begins with the halachot of Shoftim, meaning those that are judges. And the reason why this parasha about judges finds itself in Elul, because Elul is a time that everyone should sit down and start looking over his books. What do you mean his books? His deeds, his actions, and be a judge on them. Notice the pasuk says, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha. And it's speaking about putting judges in everyone, in all the towns of Eretz Yisrael. So what's the titen lecha? Lecha is single. To teach us that every person these days of Elul should sit down and look over his book.
Do cheshbon nefesh.
Do a cheshbon nefesh. To know how is he doing? How is he doing? How is his tefillot? And how is his Torah? And how is his tzedakah? And how is ben Adam chavero? And how is ben Adam makom? What's he doing? Is he on the right path or not? So one of the halachot which our judges want to be careful is osika shochat. Do not take bribe. Which everyone can understand, because if he takes bribe, so how is he focused for the one that gives him the bribe? Now we know that the Torah does not give reasons. And the reason why the Torah doesn't give reasons, the Rishonim explain, because if the Torah would give you a reason, so you'd say, oh, it's only if the reason is plausible. But if it's not, then what do I have to do in the mitzvah? So the Torah didn't give you reasons, because there's so much more than the reason that there is. The Torah doesn't give reasons.
Also, emunah, it takes away from your ability to have emunah. Meaning
to say, to listen regardless. That's what you mean. Being a true servant. That's what you mean. Here, when it comes to Sikach Shochat, don't take bribes, the Torah warns you. You know why? Because HaShochad Ya'aver Einei Chachamim V'Yisalev Divrei Tzadikim. What it does to wise people, it ruins their sight, their ability to see proper. And people that speak normally the right way will become a little bit off-tuned, off the road. Get money, that's what happens. So the question is, why did the Torah go out of its way to tell you the reason? We know that the Torah doesn't give you reasons. Why over here did the Torah special out of the way to give you the reason? So I want to say a chidush, I want a story. Shochad doesn't only mean where the person says to him, you're my judge here, maybe take gives him an envelope.
In business, for Amazon or something, you're allowed to give shochad?
What?
If you want to get in business.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's only a question in judgment, in judging. The Torah wants to not only when you give it for that reason, but once you don't give it for that reason, and he received from you something, then he also can't be a judge. I'll give you an example. Listen to this story. The yeshiva of Volozhin, according to the laws of the Russian government, was only allowed to have 200 bachurim. And they had 400. So whenever the one who came was supposed to check the amount of bachurim, they gave him bribe, and he wrote in 200. One time, the head of the whole chinuch, meaning the whole system, school system, he's coming down to check. And he was known that you can't bribe him. You bribe him, you get it over the head. That's how he knew. He was known, notorious, he doesn't take bribes. So they said, what do you do now? So Reb Chaim Brisker said, let me handle it. Let me handle it. So he said, how can you handle it? If you give him a bribe, he can throw you into prison. And he doesn't take bribes. It's known he doesn't take. What could you? Let me take care of it. Now, usually when the Sarah Chinuch came, he never spoke to the Rosh Yeshiva. He always spoke to one in the office that is the registrar. So how are we going to tell him that he should meet the Rosh Yeshiva? So So Reb Chaim said, because he just now became Rosh Yeshiva, say you'd like to introduce him to the new Rosh Yeshiva. Good. So he's told that the new Rosh Yeshiva is going to come visit him. So he's sitting in the office, and Reb Chaim Brisker puts on a fur coat with earmuffs on his ears, with a woolen hat like it's winter, and walks in and says, Shalom Aleichem. The guy says, you're the new Rosh Yeshiva? He says, yeah. He says, why are you wearing this, why are you wearing this coat? It's summer. What are you doing? It's summer. He says, I had a dream last night, and my grandmother came to me in the dream and told me that tonight, this afternoon, it's going to get so cold. Listen to me. Put on a coat. And I believe her. My grandmother told me in the dream it's going to be. The guy starts laughing. He said, what are you talking about? It's summer. He says, I'm sorry. I believe my grandmother. It's summer. He said, Rabbi Chaim said, you know what? I'll make with you a bet. If it doesn't get cold, then I give you $100. You won. If it does become cold, then you'll give me $100. It's a deal. The next day, he comes, he stays over a day. The next day, he comes and he says, you see, I won the bet. So you're right. Here's the $100. That was it. No bribe. He won the bet. Sure enough, Reb Chaim sat down to register. Now go in and handle with him about the boys. He went in to handle with him. The guy wrote 200. Yeah, true story.
That's a good one.
Yeah, true story. True story. So what we see from here is that it doesn't regard, even if you don't give it out bribe, but once he gets money from you, get money from him. That's it. He's sold. His mind, that's what it means. The Torah adds, the Torah says that you should know, if the Torah would say shochad or shigach shochad, so shochad only means bribe. But the Torah doesn't mean shochad. The Torah means to tell you that you should know, even that bribe. Once he gets money, regardless, it's v'salev divrei tzadikim. Then he's gonna, he can't, he's not gonna see it straight, he's not gonna say it straight, and that's what's gonna happen. You hear what I'm telling you? That's what the Torah. Now, what does this mean to what's against us? The problem is with ourselves. If we make a cheshbon nefesh, we're no geya, right? Everyone thinks he's great. I can't fall. What did I do wrong? I don't see what I did anything wrong. I go to shul, I pray, I make bracha. What do I do wrong? So you know what you have to do? Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha. You should take a rabbi and go to this rabbi and say, Rabbi, I want you to look over, see if I'm going on the right path. Let the rabbi interview you. Let him listen to you. And let him answer his question that he might ask. That's the true way. That's the right way. My grandfather used to say, he doesn't understand. In a business, you don't have meetings. You don't see what do we have to make better, what's going wrong, what's going right, what we should buy more, what we should. You get together. You don't make meetings. You don't get together. This one's going here, when this one's going there. You have to get together, right? So why in Yel Shemaim you don't do it? Why when it comes to Torah? Lasok b'divrei Torah. Torah is a business. Why don't you see if you're doing the right thing? Maybe you're not doing the right thing. The answer is shochad. Everyone has shochad. Everyone loves himself. And because you love yourself, I'm not doing anything wrong. So Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha at least once a year before Rosh Hashanah. Okay, boys? You ready? Before Rosh Hashanah, to sit down with me?
Tough judge, Rabbi.
That's the one you take. Not the one that's pushy. You give him a $50 bill and he says, you're okay. Bob Grant is good enough for me.
Rabbi, it's going to be cold tomorrow.
I was just about to tell him, I bet you $50, Rabbi, that it's going to be snowing.
Bracha v'atzlacha at every Indian. Now go order for the Sudat Rosh Chodesh.
Okay.